Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are going to finish up Act 1, Scene 1 of the second Maiden's tragedy by hearing from the Tyrant King, and then of course talking about what happens after today's monologue. But yes, so in Act 1, Scene 1, we've established that the Tyrant King overthrew Gavinius because he was in love with Lady, and then Lady was brought in and she chose Gavinius. She wants to be banished with him. By the way, Gavinius was banished because he's the deposed king or the overthrown king. They're not going to keep him around. But she decided that she wanted to go with him, which really frustrates the Tyrant King because he's like, what did I do all this for if I don't even get to have her? And at the end of yesterday's monologue, when Lady was like, this is my choice and I choose the man and all of that, Gavinius is like, okay, I'm happy to take my banishment now. Me and my wife are gonna skedaddle out of here. And the Tyrant King has a little bit of an aside for the beginning of this monologue, but then he focuses back on the people in the room. But he starts out just sort of to himself saying, "Or he kills me at mine own weapon. 'Tis I that live in exile, should she forsake the land. I'll feign some cause, far from the grief itself, to call it back. That doom of banishment was but lent to thee, to make a trial of thy factious spirit, which flames in thy desire. Thou wouldst be gone. There is some combination betwixt thee and foreign plots. Thou hast some powers to raise, which, to prevent, thy banishment we revoke, confine thee to thy house nearest our court, and place a guard about thee. Lord Memphonius, see it effected." So, the first little aside is he's very angry about this, that he's losing Lady, and essentially Gavinius is winning, even though the Tyrant King is now the king. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to figure out a way to revoke the banishment. So he calls back. He's like, no. I was just testing you. I was testing to see what's going on in you. And you're obviously anxious to get out of here, so you're probably conspiring with other countries. You're conspiring with my enemies to overthrow me. So therefore, you're no longer banished. You're going to stay in the house that is closest to my court, and you're going to be guarded all the time, and Lord Memphonius make it happen. Memphonius is like, cool. So he and Gavinius and Lady exit. And then Helvetius is like, excuse me, your majesty? And the Tyrant King is like, yeah, what? And he's like, you just confined him to his house with his wife. How is that really a punishment? And the Tyrant King is like, yeah, you're right. I got to separate them. So he's like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to keep them in the same building, but we're going to put them in separate rooms. He's going to be able to see her, but he's not going to be able to hold her or kiss her or talk to her or anything. He's just going to be able to visually see her. And Helvetius is like, okay, I'll go make sure that happens. And the Tyrant King is like, you know what? You may prove useful yet. And Helvetius is like, yep. Yeah, I may be old, but I'm not stupid. And that's basically how Act 1, Scene 1 ends. So, interesting stuff. We have a strong feminist female. We have in the Lady. We have Gavinius, the overthrown king, who's now going to be confined to a house where he can observe his wife but not interact with her. We have the Tyrant King, who has the emotional maturity of a small child. So yeah, and that's just Act 1, Scene 1. We'll get to see where it goes from here if you keep on coming back for more. So I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.